The simple formula that the ancient Japanese have used for years to discover their passion, to discover their calling, their purpose and meaning in life. Essentially, this formula is split into 4 parts. The first one being, and I'll say why I start with this one later, is it something that you love? The second one is it something that you are good at? The third one, is it something that can pay you? And the fourth one, is it something that other humans need or the world needs? This formula, or this even way of life, the Japanese call Ikigai. But just a little disclaimer in case you didn't know, I am not Japanese. No, seriously, I may not explain things as accurately as they may be or as they are, but essentially this is my take on it. This is how I have looked at this. Now, to start off, before we get really into this, I do also want to say that your life or your purpose or any of that can never be governed by a formula. It's just not how it works. But essentially this can create a sort of skeleton or a framework of something that you could later build onto. Now, Ikigai is really easily visualized in a Venn diagram as here. And you'll notice that in each 4 points, the fact as to whether you love it or not, as to whether you are good at it or not, as to whether it can pay you a living, and whether other people need this or the world needs this. As you can see, these things, they all overlap, and the ultimate overlap of all 4 points, that is your life purpose, that is your goal. Once again, it's not as rigid as it is, but it's interesting to take a dive into this and look at it in your life. Now, I can say that I have somewhat found my Ikigai, and it's this. It is effortless for me to create these videos. I love the process, the recording, the editing, the uploading. It's something that I love. Is it something that I'm good at? I wouldn't say that I'm good at this, but I'm improving. Is it something that the world needs? I really hope that what I'm sharing is something that you guys find useful. Is it something that pays me? Absolutely not. It's not paying me a dime, but I still continue to do it. But this is exactly why I started with the love aspect. Your Ikigai essentially may not be complete. There seems to be, if this is something that you've heard before, or if this is something you've heard just now, you may immediately feel the pressure to try and find that perfect thing. But little do we realize that that thing that we are looking for, our purpose, may actually be built up over time to be able to orchestrate our life around it, to be able to live that purpose and meaning. So, to be completely upfront, I am learning still. I am no, you can see from my videos, I am no professional in editing by no means or anything. And even the content that I speak about is heavily influenced by my own experience, by my own character. Nothing that I say is perfect. The only thing I could say is that I love this. I really love creating these videos. I really love putting myself into the mindset where I reflect and introspect and gain insight as to how life works, as to how we can improve ourselves, etc. And so, am I good at it? We're improving. Hopefully we get to a point where we are good at this. We are effortless in the way we express ourselves, to express our ideas, to then reach a point where these ideas can benefit you, which, you know, would cover the third point. Does the world need this? I want to create a change, and I really believe in Gandhi's quote, which is, be the change you want to see in the world. If I change myself, if I take on what I speak, and hopefully I share this experience, others can change too in some way. And then the fourth and last one is, will it pay me a living? Because the reality is we all need roofs over our head, we all need food on the table, and we all need to provide for those who we care for. And so I am still in the process of really completing this Ikigai. Even though it can never be complete, you can always build on it. But how does it make you feel as you are in the process of creation? That to me is the most important thing. What is something that you can do if money wasn't an option? The reality is, because of technology and everything we have today, we can essentially monetize anything. If you really love knitting, you can monetize that. If you really love watching movies, you can monetize that by starting a podcast on movies. And as you gather enough followings, you can eventually go on to, being sponsored or something like that. If you really enjoy golf or football, play it. If you're not a professional player, you can at the very least maybe be a coach for the younger generation. You can teach them how to start and the basics into football and golf. And so if we are able to do that which we love whilst improving and get good at it, in addition to providing purpose or benefiting others, in addition to providing a living for ourselves, it's as though we are not even working a day in our life. Now, I really hope that this has somewhat triggered some way of discovering what it is that you really love doing and initiated your path to find your sort of purpose. As much as you don't like it, as much as you may not enjoy being alone, but just give yourself that room, love yourself to do it. And I promise you, the longer you spend alone with the goal in trying to figure things out, I promise you, the quicker you get there and the more beautiful the fruits will bear from your reflection. Thank you so much for watching. I want you to know how much it means to me that you guys are, part of this journey. It's honestly really fulfilling. It's like I said earlier, it's as though I'm carrying out my purpose. It's something I can always do. I can have these conversations 24/7. Whenever you want me to have these conversations, if you have any questions, fire away. I just love looking at life, observing life. If observation is not the way to learn about life, instead of just reading books and facts, then I don't know what is. But hey, follow me on Instagram. It's @thespiritualwalks. Do make sure that you like, to show some support, comment so I can interact with you, subscribe if you are new here, and see you next week.